powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Kent Lutzen. Irma is just hours away from striking Florida. The storm, currently a Category 3, took a westward swing as it passed over Cuba overnight, putting the Keys and Florida west coast directly in its path. The storm is expected to regain strength as it passes through the warm waters of the Florida Straits. The storm is triggering the largest mass evacuation in U.S. history. At least 6 million people have been told to leave their home. Kenneth Craig has the latest from Miami.
Florida is starting to feel the effects of Irma. High winds and rough surf are pounding Key West. The storm is now tracking further west after passing over Cuba. Now, those along the Gulf Coast are in the storm's crosshairs. Ken Ward and his friends are scrambling to save his business in Tampa.
If the surge comes in, our bottom floor is going to be toasted. It's going to be gone.
50,000 Floridians are now in shelters. Evacuation centers along Florida's west coast are filling quickly. Mike Weaver fled to Estero from the other side of the state, thinking he was escaping Irma.
Because I thought that the potential of the storm would be on the East Coast.
Others in the same situation are now trying to drive back home, creating reverse traffic jams. Officials here in Miami are warning residents they're still very much in danger. Curfews are in effect.
There's no reason to go out. Don't be that guy that gets hit by a tree.
Residents are becoming more anxious by the hour.
Well, that we won't have a house to go back to. We actually have insurance. Everybody around us doesn't have insurance.
Officials are telling people to prepare to hunker down for at least 12 hours once Irma makes landfall. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Miami.
We have a programming note for this Sunday. CBS News will have an extensive coverage of Hurricane Irma. It all starts at 5 a.m. with CBS This Morning with a special report at 9:30. NFL Today will follow at 10 a.m. Kickoff for the Oakland Raiders Tennessee Titans game, where it will air at 11 a.m., followed up with Hurricane Irma update at 2 p.m. A red flag warning continues through parts of western Montana. For more on that, Chief Meteorologist Aaron Yokes joins us live now in the Storm Tracker Weather Center. Aaron?
Thanks, Kent. Yeah, we're watching for some pretty gusty conditions this afternoon and evening all over western Montana as a cold front tracks through the region. Now, it does have a little bit of thunderstorm activity with it. However, most confined to southwest and central Montana. We have seen a lot of this out there today. Hazy, smoky skies, says Hamilton, our First Security Bank iCam from earlier this afternoon. But believe it or not, many folks have seen an improvement, a slight improvement in air quality. I've got more of an update coming up shortly in your full forecast.
It's another day of continued poor air quality across western Montana. The pooled smoke created hazardous air quality in Seeley Lake and very unhealthy air quality in Lolo and Arlee this morning. Sarah Cofield with the Missoula City County Health Department says the monitor in Florence is still down, but based on what's been seen in Lolo, expect conditions in Florence are on the very edge between very unhealthy and hazardous. Cofield notes that while we have less overhead smoke than earlier in the week, there's still plenty of smoke up there from both distant and local fires. The conditions in Seeley Lake, Lolo, Florence, and Arlee should improve when their inversions break and the pooled smoke is finally able to leave the valley bottoms. There's the potential for some valley scoring winds Saturday afternoon, but it's looking like there will also be some overhead smoke. Cofield notes critical fire weather conditions with strong winds over active fires are expected later Saturday. New evacuation warnings were issued this afternoon near Thompson Falls due to expected wind activity at the Highway 200 complex fires. At 2 p.m. this afternoon, warnings were issued from Guy Hall Road east along Highway 200 to Prospect Creek. This includes Clear Creek and Cherry Creek. A wind event is expected to roll through between 2 p.m. today and 9 p.m. Sunday tonight. The Sheet Gap fire east of Plains remains the biggest concern, and evacuation warnings in that area remain the same. The blaze has consumed over 20,000 acres. A community meeting will be held to discuss the fires on Saturday at 7 p.m. in the Plains High School gym. Highway 200 has since reopened to motorists after being closed east of Lincoln at the intersection of Highway 200 from milepost 92 to east to Highway 434. Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's officials encourage everyone to continue to drive cautiously through the area. Mandatory evacuations that were ordered for some homes along Highway 200 in that area remain in place. A temporary shelter has been opened at the Wolf Creek School County Sheriff's Office to post new evacuation notices. The Alice Creek Fire, 16 miles north of Lincoln, has burned more than 23,000 acres and is 0% contained. Bear sightings are becoming common in the Seeley Lake area, where garbage cans left out after homes were evacuated are drawing them into populated areas. A bear specialist arrived at the Rice Ridge Fire Camp yesterday because firefighters are also encountering bears on the fire lines. Fire Information Officer Mike Cole says multiple bear sightings have been reported in the fire area. A bear information trailer will be staffed for firefighters to get more information. He says many of the firefighters from out of state have never come across bears before, especially not grizzlies. Safety officers are adding bears to the list of things personnel need to be prepared for at the Rice Ridge Fire.
Yeah, just get a little bit more training to the firefighters, you know, what to do to avoid them, what to do if they show up on the fire line. We'll probably learn how to use bear spray and start issuing bear spray to a few people on the fire line.
The fire camp is ordering bear spray, although not every firefighter will carry it. Trying times can bring out the best in people. One Lolo residents found a way to help spread important community information using Facebook. MTN's Lauren Heiser has this story.
That's right. Corey Butler is a mother of two, president of the Lolo School PTSA, a member of the Lions Club and the 406 Family Aid Foundation. But her most recent venture has been as an organizer for the Lolo, Montana Community Outreach Facebook page.
A few years ago, we were in the same situation with the fire, and we were clueless as to what was going on. That was another reason why I started posting, you know, what people have to offer, because we didn't know what was happening, and it was very scary.
Every morning, Butler wakes up and spends time sorting through the information about the fires. She then posts the information to the page so that it's accessible to as many people as possible. So far, the page has 2,200 members. Butler says it's all about providing people with information so that they know how they can help.
You can walk down the road and ask 15 neighbors, and they all want to help, they just don't know how. And so that's kind of why it was exciting to see how fast this grew. And so everybody wants to help, they just aren't sure where to go.
Butler, the 406 Family Aid Foundation, and the Florence Civic Club Emergency Relief Fund are all partnered to raise money for people who are affected by the fires. So far, they've raised over $30,000 that will be distributed to those in need. Butler and the organizations involved will sort through the applications and try and give the money to all of the people who need it. In addition to the money, people have also donated items such as school and medical supplies. Butler said she spends a lot of time making sure that the page remains a positive and encouraging source for people who want to help out. Now back to you.
The Lolo Peak Fire has burned just under 50,000 acres and remains 35% contained. Now coming up, we'll have Fish, Wildlife and Parks looks into how an eastern Montana drought is affecting wildlife, and the Grizz travel to take on the Washington Huskies. Mitch will have the latest on that coming up.